Hi, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Life with Zach. Today's episode is going to focus on push mowers and what steps you need to take when preparing to purchase a new one. Basically, how you can evaluate one. Now, this is my push mower. It is a Yard Machine 21-inch with a Briggs & Stratton motor. Now, there's nothing special about it, but basically, this is one I was able to pick up on sale, oh goodness, probably 6 years ago now. And basically, I want to walk you through some of the things that I thought about when reviewing this push mower back then. So the first thing is you have to decide what you want your push mower to be used for. So some people really like to push mow their entire yard. Some people have really small areas. Some people have hills that they have to push mow. So basically, you have to determine what am I going to be using this push mower for, because the decision you make if you're push mowing the entire yard versus the decision you make if you only have a small section are going to be completely different. If you have a small area of the yard that you're using the push mower on, then you don't need to get one that is going to be last as long, or I guess I'll say as rugged as one if you're going to push the whole yard, because you're not going to be using it in the same way. All right, so what you need to do is basically determine what you want to get one for. If you're going to be push mowing the whole yard, you're going to want one that's going to last a long time, that's going to be able to run for long periods of time because you're going to be using it for a long time. One that maybe has a little bit wider cut, and one that maybe that's one where you have to think seriously about self-propelled versus just a regular push mower. And that actually is the second point in the discussion that I wanted to talk about, is self-propelled versus regular. Now, this mower is a self-propelled. You can see here on the front, I have the self-propelled attachment. But to be honest, I'm one of those crazy people that has that and never uses it. And the reason I have this self-propelled is I needed to get a push mower fast when the time came, and I could not find any mowers that were not self-propelled at any of our local hardware stores or lawn garden places that were reasonably priced at the time. So I ended up getting the self-propelled mower and almost never use it. If I'm really tired or something one day and the last a little bit, I might push down on it, but I actually push faster, get done faster, and it's easier for me to not use the self-propelled attachment. However, if you have a really steep hill that you have to mow, if you have a really big yard and you push mow the whole thing, or you just want a self-propelled mower, maybe you don't mow as fast as I do or something else, then it's okay to get a self-propelled attachment or self-propelled mower. The one thing is it does make the mower heavier, so don't expect to be able to get a self-propelled mower and it's going to be a light mower that you can push around easily. So that does make this one harder to push. But if you need one, you basically, again, have to make the decision for yourself. Do I need a self-propelled mower based on the yard I have, or am I okay with one that I'm just going to push around? All right. The third thing that you need to really evaluate is how big of a blade do you need? How big of a cut? Now this one is 21 inches. You can see that on here. We'll zoom in so that you can see that it is indeed Yard Machine 21-inch with a Briggs & Stratton motor. And basically what you need to decide is, okay, how big of a cut do I need? If you're going to be pushing a big yard, you have big open areas or something, then you are going to need a bigger one. But if you have a small area, then bigger is not always better, because if you need to maneuver it or do other things with it, then you have to realize that bigger cut is going to make it harder, especially if you have tight areas. And you can see down here in my yard, I have some tight areas between those trees. I have to do a lot of trimming, and so I did go with the 21-inch cut. You can get smaller, you can get bigger. I did not need bigger, and I felt that the smaller one would not do exactly what I needed it for. So you basically just need to make that decision that based, again, on what kind of a yard that you have, What size cut do I need to have for my mower? And where does that leave me? All right. The fourth thing that you need to decide is um, how much does the mower weigh? And how much are you comfortable pushing around the yard? Now, I'm going to give this story. I know that some people in my area have big, heavy Honda mowers, and I think they're great mowers, okay? They will run forever because they have a very reliable motor. They're very solid, and they're rugged. Um, they're going to last forever. But those mowers are also incredibly heavy. So basically what's happening is they're trading off the weight of the mower for its durability. And if you're pushing a lot, if you're expecting it to do a lot of work, then that's something you may need to consider. But if you're just trimming like me, I only push mow maybe a tenth to a quarter of the yard, I guess. I don't need something that is that rugged, and I'm not going to be like running it over rocks or running it over sticks. It's not my primary mower. The zero turn is my primary mower. So, you're going to have to make that decision that, yes, I only need a mower that is going to last me long enough for what I'm doing with it, not necessarily one that you just think is going to last forever when you don't really need something that big and heavy because you have to move it around the yard. I prefer the old like trimming mowers that maybe 10 years ago I was using that were incredibly light and easy to move around because I'm able to get a whole lot more done with a whole lot less work with those mowers than I am with this mower or even the heavier, really rugged style push mowers. So again, that's a decision you have to make. I lean towards the lighter mower just because it's easier and I can go faster. But then again, I am trading off some durability for that lightness in the mower. And the fifth and final thing that you need to evaluate when you're getting mower is, again, how tough does this mower look? Like the parts, the assembly, and things like that. How long is it going to last you? Because to be honest, you can go out here and get a mower for under $100 from, let's say, Walmart or Lowe's or someplace like that. It's a really cheap mower. Nothing against those places, but they do sell some cheaper mowers that aren't going to last you as long. And if you look at the attachments, if you look at the components of that mower, you can tell that it is indeed cheaper and not going to last you because there's a lot more plastic and other things on there. So some of the things you want to look for are, is the area around the blade and stuff all metal? What is the chute? This thing here on the back? What does that look like? Is that going to last? How is it held together? You also want to especially look at the wheels. Like, how are the wheels put together? Are they stable? Are they durable? This one just has a bolt in here, but I've known a lot of people that have sheared multiple bolts off. So that's one thing you want to keep an eye on is, like, how is this put together? How rugged does this look? And you can even come in here. This may be hard to see, but you can come in here and see basically where this attaches on here and how durable is this bracket, because to be honest, the thing I've always had issue with in seeing brake first are these wheels, and you're probably going to bust one at some point, so you got to ask yourself not only how well is it put together, but how easy can I change this. And again, this is just that single bolt, but again, we can look at the chute here, see how well this is put together, how heavy that is, and the other components on here, just making sure that it is reasonable and that it's going to hold together when you want to use it. Now, there's a couple things that you do need to realize about these mowers that you don't need to evaluate that you might have to when it comes to a zero turn. The biggest one of those is the motor itself. All of these motors are basically the same in terms of the manufacturer. Okay, these Briggs & Stratton motors, or basically any of the other brands that you get, the mowers are going to be, or the motors on the mower are going to be are the same, made by the same people. Okay, no matter how they're branded and everything, basically all push mower motors are made by the same people, unless you get a specialty mower or something like that. So you can evaluate the size of the motor, but you don't need to look at the different brands if you're thinking about different types of motors. They're all really the same. All right. And then the other thing you have to think about, the big one, this is a bonus one, maybe, is the cost and when you're getting it. Okay, so you know, you've evaluated all the other things like what am I using it for? You know, is it self-propelled versus regular? What is the weight? You know, the components and everything, how all that's put together. The final thing you need to evaluate is cost and when you're picking it up. All right, if you can get a mower, a push mower for cheap, um, that is reasonable, if you look at all the components and things, looks like it's going to hold together, then you need to get it, because you know what, a push mower is not going to last you the same length of time that a ride mower is. It's just because it's the way it's built. But it is a rather simple piece of machinery, so it can be durable and go for, you know, 10 years or so before it's going to conk out on you. So, and really, if you take care of it, even some of the ones that maybe are cheaper or on sale or something, you're going to get the same length of service out of one of the ones that is more durable. And we'll do a later video talking about how to take care of these push mowers. But again, I just wanted to share those tips with you in terms of evaluating what kind of push mower to get, just in terms of looking at the different components, looking at the different things that you need and what you're going to be using it for, and how successful that's going to be for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have and found value in it, be sure to hit the like button. I love to get likes, and hear also comments from people with questions or additional feedback, any other tips that you have. And if you've enjoyed it enough and want to get other videos once they come out, hit that subscribe button so you're the first to know when a new episode of Life with Zach, either a review or some type of exploration video or a local history video, comes about. And again, thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.